Hi guys, so this is the first video on this channel. I wanted to start it off with a kind of get to know you video and just give you guys a little bit of info about me. My name's Kelsey Johnson. I am actually an 8th grade English teacher. I am based just outside of Austin, Texas, and I love it. I have been an English teacher going on 5 years. This August is the start of my 5th year, which is kind of insane because I feel like I just started yesterday, especially with everything currently going on. Everything just feels very up in the air and confusing. So I feel even more like I'm a first year teacher again. But you know, year 5 going in, going strong. I love it. I work with 8th grade, so I work with like 13, 14-year-olds. They are a handful. I love it, but I am very snarky, sarcastic, like to make jokes at the kids' expenses. And so working really with much younger would be a challenge. When I originally wanted to start teaching, I thought I would want to teach AP, like English, so 11th, 12th, maybe do pre-AP, 9th, 10th, something like that. During my undergrad, the college that I attended and the kind of like undergrad education program that they had required us to do 2 in-person teaching classes, which meant that we had to be at a high school and we had to be at a middle school if you were certifying for 7th through 12th, which is what I got my certification in. And so the first one I did was in 8th grade at a different school within the district that I'm currently at, and I loved it. Then the following semester I did one at the high school in the same district, and it was great, but it wasn't anything like the middle school. And that's when it changed. That's when I was like, okay, I really want to be a middle school teacher. I want to be able to work with them. So that kind of started to push me in a different direction than I originally thought when I started teaching, but it was a direction that I was okay with going. Part of what made middle school so appealing was the fact that I could joke around, I could play with them, but at the end of the day, they still knew I was older than them. They still knew that there was a age gap between us, and so I was able to be an authority figure and be kind of someone that they felt comfortable going to, someone that was close enough in age that I understood what they were going through to a degree, but far enough in age that they didn't really view me as like their best friend. So now I've been there for 5 years and I'm loving it. I have no desire to leave, even though I've been kind of getting pushed to do so once I finish my master's, which I'm currently doing. I am getting a master's in curriculum and instruction with a focus on a reading specialist, because that's one thing that I have learned by being in the classroom is just how much reading the kids need help with. And so it's nice to actually be able to feel like I'm helping them. About to start my 5th year. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade the kids for the world, even on their worst day, which those happen. But they happen everywhere. They don't just happen in elementary or middle or high school. It happens literally no matter what grade level you're teaching. I'm sure in college it happens. It's just part of the job, part of what you have to do in order to be a teacher. So all of that kind of leads up to why I created this channel. So as an English teacher, obviously I've seen the deficits, I've seen where kids are struggling. As I've gotten into my graduate program side of things, I've been able to kind of be like, okay, so there's different levels of things that are going on. What I've kind of realized is that if you're not passionate about what you're doing, if you don't love it, if you aren't giving your all, especially with like middle school and I'm sure younger, I didn't see it as much when I was in the higher level, but I'm sure it's there too. If you're not passionate, you will not have the buy-in. I am an English teacher, which by default means that I either love reading or writing, or in my case, both. I'm not great at teaching writing, I don't think, but I think that's part of the learning curve. Like, I'm still learning how to figure out the best way to teach it. Because I grew up learning to write because I read. My channel is going to be divided up into 3 different chunks. The 3 chunks are going to be reading, creative writing, and teaching strategies. When I talk about reading, it's mainly, at least for the start, gonna be like book reviews. So I just got back from vacation. This is a backpack that I took. It is full of books. It's full of classics. It's full of true crime-ish. It's, oh, got Tolstoy. When I travel, I read a lot. A lot. So I show you that so that you can kind of understand that reading's more than a hobby for me. It's something I do a lot of. So I will be doing book reviews. That's what the book reading section is going to be, at least at the start. Once I get into the school year, you know, who knows, things could change or whatever's going on. So that's kind of where the reading section is right now. It's just going to be book reviews. The second section is creative writing. I am a creative writer. I love creative writing. I've been writing for my whole life, pretty much since 6th grade, which was a while ago, over 10 years, over 15 years. Yeah, I don't want to think about it. I've been writing for a while. I love writing. I love creative writing. I currently have a work in progress, which is probably what I'll be using, at least at the beginning of my writing. And then maybe once, just like with reading, once I get into school, once I start doing activities with the kids, you know, I'll probably slip some of those into the writing section as well. But it's kind of a way for me to let go of my pent up creative writingness. And then the third section is going to be teaching strategies. And when I say teaching strategies, I don't mean just like, here's how you teach a kid to read, or here's how you teach a kid to write. I work with a very diverse group of kids. I love them. I really do. But they're very diverse. I have varying reading levels and writing levels and comprehension levels. And that's every classroom. So what my teaching strategies idea is, like, yes, I will show you ways to help with reading, or ways to help with writing, or grammar, or, you know, macro or micro activities, but I will also talk about the behaviors. I love them. I'm gonna keep saying it. I love my kids. I sometimes want to smack them. I won't ever, but sometimes you just lose it. I think it's important for teachers to be honest about the frustrations, about the good days, the like, oh, well, you know, so-and-so normally doesn't do anything, but today, they did their worksheet without arguing. And those are days to celebrate. And then there are days where you're like, thank God this day is over. Or even I've had years where it's been like, thank God I'm done with that period. Like, I can't. So, you know, there's going to be that kind of stuff too. Ways to deal with the different populations, like language learners or the special education inclusion populations. Things that maybe should be common sense that aren't necessarily common sense are what I want to work with. So that's kind of my goals. I really want the 3 sections to kind of illustrate the seamlessness of reading and writing going together for sure, but then also just help. I would like to think that teachers are teachers because we never want to stop learning, and we want to help people find their inner learner and be successful in what they do. And I think the only way to do that is to never stop trying to learn. And so I think part of this for me is me figuring out my way to keep contributing to people learning, but also to find people to connect with that will help me learn. So that's my goal. I'm really excited to take this journey. My channel title is Away We Go because I think that learning is an adventure. I think that reading is an adventure. I think that writing is an adventure. And I also think that everybody has to be on board in order to be successful in this adventure, which is why it's Away We Go. So I hope that you guys will kind of jump in this journey with me. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I already have a couple book reviews that I've got to do, and there's another video that I've discussed with some other teachers about me doing that got some positive thought feedback on. So I've got some stuff coming. It's probably going to be uploaded soon, and then I'm going to go from there. So I'm really, really excited to get going with this, and can't wait to see y'all there.